everybody, it is Nicole from iiKiui, and today I'm going over my favorite art supplies of 2020. So let's not waste any time and hop right into the video. The first product is the Strathmore marker paper, and I've been using this paper a lot more this year compared to previous years for marker art. I find that even though it's thinner than Bristol paper, it does really well for markers, as the name would suggest, because it doesn't really absorb a lot of ink, but still allows for a lot of blending. The next product is the Strathmore watercolor paper, and before in previous videos I would use a different brand, but I found that this paper is thicker and it just blends better when you apply watercolor to it, and it also doesn't buckle as much. Then we have the Prismacolor Colorase pencils, and this is something that I've mentioned in many of my previous videos, but I use these often for sketching or for transferring art. And I use the colors light blue, blue, and red, mainly because these were the colors we used for animation, so it just kind of stuck. However, they do have many other colors to choose from, and I'll be sure to link all the products I talk about today in the description. Next we have the Art & Fly electric eraser, and this is something that I haven't really mentioned before, but I kind of use it a lot off camera. I find that using an electric eraser really helps to cleanly remove any mistakes from colored pencils, and even sometimes marker or ink. Sometimes I also use it to erase ink smudges when I accidentally smear my ink. Then we have my Artline Fineliner drawing system pens, which I've used for quite some time now, I think maybe a few years since I reviewed them. And I found that these pens are the only ones that have the deep black color compared to other fineliners that are more gray. Another pen set that you've seen me use a lot recently are the Arteza Twine Marker dual tip pens, and I use this a lot for colored line art because of the fine tip on one side, and because there are a lot of colors to choose from. Moving on to the coloring. For markers, I really like using the Arteza Everblend markers. Ever since I received it, I've been using it pretty much in all of my marker speed paints, and mainly because they have such a big variety of colors to choose from, and it's really easy to blend together. I also really like the Spectrum Noir Illustrator markers. I think they're comparable to Copics, they're easy to use and to blend with, and of course I also like my Copics, but I feel like I didn't really need to mention that. As for watercolor palettes, my first favorite is the GenCrafts watercolor palette, both the 48 set and the 24 set. I really like the colors that they provide in both sets, and they're all very vibrant and bright. Then we have the Kuretake Gansai Tambi Starry Colors, which is a metallic set of watercolors. I really like how bright and shiny the metallic paints are. I think it adds a lot of fanciness to my art, as I mentioned in the review, and I definitely want to use more of this in the future. And then we have an old favorite, which is the Sakura Koi watercolor set, which I didn't really use that often this year, but I still love this set and the colors. I think they're very bright and vibrant, and they're very high quality. And lastly, of course, I have to include my two white gel pens that I use for adding shiny marks and highlights. I have the Uniball Signo white gel pen, which is a broader tip, but it does provide a more opaque white dot or line. And then I have my Jelly Roll white gel pen, which I use for more precise highlights and for more transparent highlights. So that wraps up my favorite art supplies of 2020. I hope you all enjoyed it and found it interesting, or maybe it gave you some ideas for Christmas gifts or birthday gifts for the artist in your life, whether it be you or someone else. So with that, I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. Keep drawing, keep creating, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!